Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing house number 3 in my Millionaires Row speed build series, and this is a Californian mansion. Now, first off, I want to say a massive thank you for 500 subscribers. I'm now actually over that mark, but I did hit 500 today and I was absolutely over the moon. Now, I know this sounds absolutely ridiculous because there are so many creators out there with thousands and thousands of subscribers, and I'm very late to the game. But to me, it means the world because when I started this journey, I started it really just completely randomly. I just literally got up one day and was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to start a YouTube channel. And that's exactly what I did. And I did it because I've got such a love for building in The Sims 4, and I've done it for that many years that I thought, well, hey, you know, if even the odd person is interested in seeing how I create these builds, then, you know, that's a bonus. Because at the time, I think I had close to 30,000 downloads on the gallery, and I kind of thought, well, that's quite a lot, really. And, you know, don't get me wrong, I know there's loads of people out there with hundreds of thousands, but for me I kind of thought, well, you know, if people are interested in downloading them, then they may be interested in seeing how I build them. So to know that from there I then went on to get 500 subscribers, to me it's just a massive achievement. And the other thing is I've been able to achieve that, and I have actually worked really, really hard on this channel. What started out to be just like a little bit of fun escalated into being something that I kind of took quite seriously, and I didn't want to give up until I truly knew how well I could do and how far I could push myself with creativity within The Sims. The main thing I'm really, really proud of is my timing. My timing to do YouTube was absolutely rubbish. I spent last year playing all sorts of different games, and through complete and utter boredom, I had a ridiculous amount of time on my hands when I was pregnant with my daughter, and I chose to start YouTube when she was 9 weeks old. Well, I think she was around about 9 weeks old, something like that, and she was very, very young. I was very, very tired, and I still am. Still suffering from a bit of sleep deprivation here and there, but definitely when I started this channel, you know, she was up in the night, and it's just been such a long journey, but it's been really, really enjoyable, and it's one that the more I carried on doing it, the less I wanted to give it up. And here I am. I'm still kind of pushing myself to just try and think of different builds. And yeah, I'm still enjoying it. I'm still really, really enjoying it. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some really tough times. And I have met some absolutely fantastic people in the Sims community. And it's well known that the Sims community is definitely one of the best amongst games, and in all of my years of playing and doing different gaming, I've gamed in many, many different games and environments. The Sims is absolutely fantastic. In all honesty, when I did start, I had absolutely no idea how many people were creating the same sort of content on YouTube. People who were doing speed builds, let's plays, etc. It's absolutely huge out there. And to be honest, if I did have a clue it was that big, I probably would never have started it. So I'm so glad that I didn't discover that and meet all those lovely people until much later on, because I definitely wouldn't have bothered. But the good thing is that I have had the opportunity to meet so many really wonderful people who are incredibly talented as well, and some of those have gone on to be a massive support to my channel. Two people I'd like to say an extra special thanks to are Chrissy York and Antoine from over at Sim Architecture. both Chrissy and Antoine have been absolutely fantastic supports to my channel, and I've been really lucky to do collaborations with them as well over this journey so far. But they've been on hand for loads of advice, loads of support. I've had such a laugh, and it's been an absolute pleasure to get to know them. And I just want to say a special thank you to you, because it's really, really difficult to do YouTube. It's really difficult when you're a small fish in a vast ocean, and you're just trying to get noticed. You're trying to, I wouldn't say I was particularly trying to get noticed, but in a way, you know, when you start on it and once you're on the journey, you know, you do want to get bigger, you do want to get better and attract more people and put out as much content, quality content as you can. But those two people have been by my side throughout it all. And then there's loads of people over on Twitter as well that have offered massive support, that have retweeted, you know, all of my builds, have liked my builds, shared my builds, and in particular is Millennial builds and also J2J plays. They've been massive support. And again, Coffee. Now, Coffee is a massive Sims YouTuber, and I have to say a special thank you to Coffee, because there was one particular night when I had not very many subscribers. I think between sort of, I mean, I haven't very many now, but somewhere between kind of 70 to 80 subscribers, something like that. And it was just going really, really slow. And I was thinking, this is really hard work, because don't forget, at the same time, I was really, really sleep deprived with a young baby. And I'm also a mum of 3 other children as well. So mum to 4, sleep deprived, trying to do these videos. My sub count wasn't going anywhere. And I tweeted I think it was just a small tweet, and Coffee jumped on it with something like a 6 to 8 message long tweet about how I wasn't to give it up, that I was to believe in myself, that I could do it, I just need to persevere. And that kind of positivity from a complete stranger within the Sims community was enough for me to sort of empower me to keep going. So it was a big thank you to Coffee as well. It does sound like I'm at the Oscars, really, doesn't it? And I don't mean it to sound like that. It's just that in my nature, you know, I just want to say thank you to those people, because ultimately I'm just a mum, a stay-at-home mum who is working on doing, you know, Sims builds at home whilst pottering around being a little house elf during the day. So, you know, for all the support that I've had, it's been a really good journey, and one that I'm hoping won't end anytime soon. So thank you so much to each and every one of you, and especially everybody that's new. I hope you enjoy these speed builds. I hope you enjoy the content that I put out. And I'm really, really glad that you've jumped on board. You've made one person really, really happy just by clicking that little sub box button. So thank you. Anyway, all the soppy stuff aside, the build. This is a Californian mansion. Now, I'll just go over the kind of details. It's a 4-bed, 3-bathroom build on a 50 by 50 lot in Oasis Springs, which was originally built in Willow Creek, and it comes in at just less than 383,000 simoleons. Now, I had some issues with this build. I must admit, the last modern mansion that I built, I hated doing. I really, really did. I just didn't enjoy doing the build at all. But this one, after a bit of a break, was really enjoyable. But the problem was when I came to design it, because I don't copy or have a particular design in mind. I kind of just go from, I just sort of play around with shapes until I think it looks all right. And that's what I did in this case, only the way that it turned out looked quite similar to the last one I did. So I kind of spent my time half building it and half trying to make it completely different from the last one that I did. But I did colour it kind of like with browns on the outside, and I think that was part of the reason of why it looked quite similar to the other one. So partially and partway through the build, I did completely recolour the outside away from browns into more of a sort of black, white and grey kind of colour palette. And I did really like the brown one, I must admit, but I have done my other two modern builds, well, did have like a brown exterior, and I wanted to do something different, so I kind of changed it up a little bit. But the outside was, it was really lots of fun to do. I enjoyed it. I do find, and I was chatting to Chrissy about this, I do find creating the exterior of modern builds fairly easy. It's just when I come to do the inside and trying to do the floor plans and things like that, it's tough. You know, not everybody who does these speed builds is a complete pro, and so many people who do speed builds will cut out a vast amount of footage because it's all trial and error. You just got to play around until you get it right. Now, you will notice that my UI, that indeed is my Twitch UI, and I actually built this whole build, or pretty much the entirety of this build, I live streamed it onto Twitch, so it was quite tough. I stayed up quite late the other night streaming, and in the end I think I got to the point where it was like, oh, I need to go to bed. I need to go to bed before I hate this build and I hate my life. So I did, and I woke up today all nice and refreshed, determined to get it finished off, and it just flowed. It went really, really well today, so I was chuffed with this build, and I had a lot of fun with it as well. I love this living room area. It is quite an open plan build. There isn't much that's sectioned off, obviously, apart from things like bathrooms and bedrooms. It is fairly open plan downstairs, so I did quite like it. And I think what I love the most, again, is these paintings. They just make such a big difference. I think they make more of a big difference because they're not old, you know, they're kind of like new designs, so you know, it kind of makes it look a bit more different than normal because you're using different types of paintings. But definitely these paintings are making quite the nice touch to the interiors of the builds at the minute. I'm really, really enjoying it. So you'll see lots of those scattered throughout the builds, and they are literally, again, just available on the gallery. If you just type in #paintings, it will come up with a vast amount of different types of paintings that you can download. You don't need to go to a different website. It's not classed as such CC. You can just download them straight into your game and use them straight off the bat. So it's really, really good, and I'm so glad I discovered it, because it just, yeah, it makes all the difference when you're used to building with the same items over and over again. To get something new is like, whoo, you're like a kid in a sweet shop. It's just amazing. So yeah, they were definitely a good addition. Also, you may notice that the footage for this build is a little all over the place. It kind of goes from the living room up to the bedroom, down to the whatever, and that's just because I did start off upstairs, and then I went downstairs, and then I went in the middle floors, but ultimately you'll just see a little glimpse into each of the rooms and how they were built. If you do want to skip straight down to the screenshots and, you know, the sort of camera footage, etc., it's right down at the end of the video, probably around the kind of 20-minute mark, so feel free to skip down there if you don't want to listen to me waffle on, which you may have already skipped down there already. But yeah, around the 20-minute mark, and you will see, you know, some nice screenshots there. But I hope you've had a fantastic start to September so far. All my children have gone back to school this week, as you probably will know from my last couple of builds. I was getting them ready to go back, and they've just completed the first week back, and they've loved it. They've had a really good week, which is fantastic. And it's nice to get back into a routine again. Like I say, I class myself as a house elf, you see, because I'm a full-time mum, and I've been a full-time mum for quite some time now. I'm really lucky. I've got a lovely husband. He works, and yeah, you know, I bring up the kiddies. So it's been nice to get back into the routine of getting up early in the morning. Well, I'm always up early in the morning anyway, but you know, getting everybody up and ready and out the door and just having a nice fresh walk in the morning and again over in the afternoon. It's been quite nice. But I've been doing some organising this week and it's been quite nice actually. I feel like I've had quite a nice chilled week. I've been trying to sort out my channel so that, you know, I was hammering out speed builds, just not giving myself any downtime at all. And it does burn you out fairly quick. I mean, I'm pretty sure if I listen back to some of my speed builds at the beginning of my YouTube channel, I probably sound so incredibly tired. I know sometimes I used to have to get a massive drink before I did a voiceover because literally my voice would just be dry and croaky. Because it'd be stupid o'clock in the morning and I'd be completely sleep deprived. But it's not so bad now because at the beginning I always struggled to do voiceovers because I've got such a house full. I was actually sending everybody out at the beginning doing voiceovers and it was just a bit of a nightmare really. But it's hard to talk about stuff and be animated in your voice and things like that when you're in the company of other people, especially when they rip what you do, when they're like, when they just sort of like take the mickey. But anyway, no, they've been a real good support now and they're actually in the room with me. My poor husband has to put his headset on and do his bit on his PC whilst I do my voiceovers. And then I have my son who's got his headset on and he's playing with his friends who has to be quiet whilst I do my voiceovers. So yeah, at least I get to do them at a bit more of a normal hour now. But I say normal, it is still quite late. But anyway, that was going completely off the build. Coming back to the build, I decided to go for some quite nice bold colours. I probably stuck to more kind of blacks, whites, greys, a little bit like the exterior. Brought the exterior in a little bit. And you just use pops of colour again on the walls. I think that's pretty much modern, isn't it? Just nice and plain, but with some nice bold colours. I think that always looks quite nice. I like to keep sort of the modern builds that I do in The Sims quite bright and bold with colours as well, because The Sims is a fun and happy game, and I always think it's nice to have a nice vibrant home for The Sims, instead of them looking like they've just stepped out of sort of, I don't know, like some boring contemporary magazine. Sorry guys, I'm not the biggest modern build type of fan. So yeah, I do like to keep it quite zesty and bold and colourful. But yeah, I really enjoyed the interior of this one. I really like this dining room as well. I think this is probably just slightly off being a modern dining room. It was going a little bit, I don't know what I would call it, but anyway, I quite liked it. It looked very grand in the end and sort of elegant and fancy pants. Oh, also a big thank you to Josh Karen, who is Bring the Party, who does quite a bit of streaming over on Twitch and also has a YouTube channel. He pointed me in the right direction for some really good playlists, music-wise, on Spotify. So I've been really jamming out tonight, finishing the rest of this build. So I'll be sure to be using those up on Twitch as well, because I've had some music dilemmas the last like few days. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up. And if you'd like to share it, that also helps me in the growth of my channel. But thank you to each and every one of you who has pressed that subscribe button so far. And I'm really glad to have you on board. And yeah, it's just been, you know, I'm so grateful. I'm really, really grateful. So I hope you have a fantastic weekend wherever you are in the world and whatever you may be doing. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. Bye.